where you just want to remove these heroes that, sure, you know, maybe a team like Secret will have options to play against them, but Undying is just the strongest laner, and it requires you to think about the game at a deeper level if you're going to be able to play against it. Plus, it's a comfort hero, so you just want to get rid of stuff like that. Same reason I think you remove Tree here. That hero is still kind of busted, I think. I'm surprised we don't see it more often. Starting to see to come back. I think especially now that powers got buffed, specifically tier 2s. Perhaps this is why.
You know, they got more HP and they need more armor. We put the living armor on it. We found the patch notes.
Is it also maybe now on the back of Phoenix getting picked a little bit more, we expect to see Treant rise again? Because that was one of the more potent combos we saw about a year ago. Is the egg plus overgrowth.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah, but I think Phoenix came back first. I think Treant's,
100%.
Yeah,
Treant's more of just... I think people are respecting vision a bit more as well. And again, wave clear. It's very rare to get a hero that can provide massive team fight. Use Pangolier as an example. Great team fighter, especially in the mid game. Root also does damage now. It used to deal 0 and it was still picked up. And you can clear waves from invis, like hiding in trees with one spell. Like, it's not... You know, you compare it to... use like AA as an example. If this hero could clear creep waves, he'd be first 2'd every single game. But because he can't, it's more of a niche pick because you need a specific type of game and a hero he hard counters to really justify the hero.
And we saw in the first series today, even then it might not be enough. We do see a Void Spirit ban in the first phase. Do we expect Ember to slide on through, or do you just stop in its tracks?
It depends right now. I think Ember wasn't really touched in the first game, so I don't think we draw too many conclusions from that one. It might, if it's just available, just pick it up anyways. But in terms of bans, teams they're sticking to their second game bans where they keep the Rubik. I think the last ban was either the Weaver is the last one, but they now go for the Bristleback.
Still a Coddle.
Yeah, so
first pick for Spirit, especially with Ember still in the pool.
So in terms of the general heroes, you've now got Mars, you've got Weaver. In terms of like first pickable heroes, you've now got SD, you've got Void Spirit's banned. Now got Ember Spirit as well. So I think there's so many options open still, and this is where these teams, their bans are a little bit more team based, not like overall. Gotta take away the SD or the Coddle.
Especially within the CIS region, that SD comes into play a lot. But where do you think you should be enabling your draft between these teams, right? Because we usually talk about the win condition type player. Like if you're FlyToMoon, for example, whose hero are you going to leave to last? Is it VTune? Is it Iceberg?
I like the way that FlyToMoon draft right now, where they set themselves up to use Iceberg as like the gotcha pick, where it's that Tiny or Sky or something, which naturally can complement the counters towards VTune's hero pool. You know, so like if you go for, if they randomly pick a Riki, you can have the Tiny, or if they pick some illusion clearing hero, because you have a PL on your team, you can then go for, let's say, like a random Leshrac type pick. Like, I like the way that they can complement their hero pools by that factor. Okay, they ban out the SD. So offering up Ember, offering up Coddle, they go for the Ember.
I like that choice. I don't think you want to Coddle first, because then you just get Embered. If you Ember first, you don't really want to play Coddle into the hero.
Yep. And
if you leave it, you just take Coddle Ember, and your opener is 1. I think it's arguably one of the best 3 in Dota 2 right now.
Do you think... Well, I think his win rate's around like 40%. Is that just because every team is going to it as a staple?
How many games have we had, though?
I think it's had like 15 games.
No way. We've had this tournament took off like a week.
It's been a fair few.
Can we get a status?
I'm going to quickly update that for you.
Give me the exact numbers. I'm pretty sure it's like he's in double digits by now.
Yeah, he's on 19 games, 36.84% win rate.
Thank you.
In the
WePlay Pushka League.
Yeah,
there's
Pushka
no way.
I remember it was low,
counting
but
Division
I can't remember
2 and qualifiers?
I don't think we are.
Hold on, we are counting 2 Division 2 games. That's on 17 games.
Did it win or lose those games?
It won. Viking.gg played both.
Alright, never mind. Look, I take.
He's like, okay, cut on that.
I was grasping, but nope.
There's another hero that actually is highly contested on the pick and ban rates is Death Prophet.
So you just
very
go for the Coddle. I kind of agree with Kyle for the idea of like, I've seen a lot of Coddle games where you don't have a way of playing out a strong fight, and then heroes just naturally just run at you, and you're like, oh, I'm playing a Coddle. I don't know how to take these 15-minute fights.
And now there's a Grimstroke up. So you want to get some method of offensive purge here. DP certainly going to go for a Yules, but Ember Spirit, Shield up, Ink Swelled up, that's just, Coddle just explodes. They have no counterplay either, unfortunately. And that's a big issue I have with the hero. I'm trying to think what combinations they'd like to go for. You could Storm later on. It's one of Iceberg's favorite heroes. I'll never forget that match. I don't know if it was against VP. It was that move, that game at Epicenter 2018, I want to say.
You want to fact check this again, or?
Yeah, Epicenter. Yeah, it would have been 2018. What, you FlyToMoon versus...
Yeah, that was the
EB.
event that they almost qualified to TI. If they had won the event, they would have qualified, and they finished third, I believe. But his Storm went like beyond God, like absolutely dumpstered their opponents. I think it was either VP or EG. It was somebody that they were not expected to beat.
I think it might have been...
Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, Game 1 against Liquid.
That was Liquid.
He played a Storm Spirit, went 26-4-15. Matumba Man went 2-12. GH went 3-15.
26.
Are you just going to list them all?
26-4-15, like 15 6.
I was about to say, like,
Yeah. Mind Control.
That's a hell of a score.
Yeah, Mind Control actually played offlane Clockwork, went 10-13-12. So yeah, truly got dismantled. And also, Liquid had an anti-mage against it, so very cool. Do love me a good iPad, by the way. Very cool.
I saw your brain. This is your new segment, History
No,
with
I'm just
T.
thought I'd stat check Kyle. This is the new segment, you know. Kyle says something,
History with T.
we then fact check it, and then off we go. Continue from there.
I would have been so much better off in like the Middle Ages with no fact check. I just say whatever the hell I wanted.
With enough confidence, anyone believes it.
That's all you needed.
You're the guy that went from like village to village, like telling the tales of like other people.
Yeah, Glee Man or charlatan, whatever your definition. I do like Death Prophet. I think this hero is still mega undervalued, even though it's still picked up in the openers. I think it's powerful enough to warrant a ban or pick in the opener pretty much every game. I loved what I saw yesterday by Hellraisers against VP, or sorry, Navi against VP, where they just took AA and blasted no one consistently.
Ooh, that mentioned Clockwork in your
general
your
Clockwork, maybe
possibly.
Tiny hero model.
It's you know, cause you got to scale them.
Little man, like
Okay.
Snap pick Chen.
Huge.
That is such a sick Chen pick here, especially once you see the clock. You have two supports now. Coddle in theory, like there's this. How do I put this? There are certain teams, Kuro Stack, Liquid, Enigma. I'll start calling them Enigma, but they typically picked Coddle against Chen. But that's a very specific way that they played. They would rat, they'd pick some annoying hero like Venomancer that's just never going to get dove. But theoretically, Chen kind of owns Coddle because you have this creep army up, like level 5, level 6. You have a mech. You just counter what the hero does.
You own the jungle,
you
right?
You can't deal with creeps. And yes, you own
can't
the woods.
access your own map. So I think this is where I think right now with FlyToMoon, they've got Coddle DP, which automatically forces DP into a core role, right? It's going to be potentially either offlane or mid, and then your Clockwork can be the offlane or your 4. Again, with FlyToMoon, General does play Clockwork, so again, that's where the flexibility lies. So I understand where they're going with their draft, but it's still the question of how do they actually own an area of the map when you have this Ember running at you, the Chen owning with his creep wave. I think that's their biggest issue right now, and I guess boiling it down further, you have the lack of wave clear. Once you have levels, Coddle doesn't really go for Illuminate, DP can at later stage, and Clockwork not so much again. So you have that issue of, okay, you know what the issue is? We don't need to push out wave
clear, just
we're just
kill
going
the
to run at
heroes.
you. Yeah, this is a counterable Ursa game. I think that's the way of wording it.
I like it a lot against Ember, but I'm always afraid of Ursa against Grimstroke or any sort of BKB control. It's similar in a lot of ways to how you want to play against, let's say, like an Abaddon, where if you have a method of control that you can't ult or shield off, you just feel weak. And you're also playing with a clock, so you don't have that great synergy either. However, excellent in lane with Coddle. You just Q, you get maned, you can Q again, just keep smacking whoever it is you're up against. But from Spirit now, there's no way I'm picking a melee hero to go up against Ursa.
But this is what I think when we mentioned in the pre-part of the draft is like, okay, so what do we like about FlyToMoon? I said like the idea in which they always set themselves up where if you have to counter my Ursa, we're going to pick up that Iceberg hero to unlock the game, for example, where they have that potential. If you just put DP off lane clock 4, your Ursa can flex between mid carry. Now if you fully focus on this Ursa, you just unlock Iceberg to have a good game. Or you pick up the V-Tune here and you put Iceberg on some casual Ursa mid if the Ember is mid and shown. So I like how they've opened up their ability to close out their draft. Issue is, it's an Ursa. It puts you into an awkward position of the game where you have to play aggressive, but we've seen Team Spirit, they make these big mistakes, the 15-minute mark. So if you pick a hero that can own that portion of the game, sure, Afterlife gets to farm for that extra minute, but now the difference is you're going to get crushed in that fight, and maybe you lose so much control of your map that you can't really come back in the game. So
does it kind of simplify FlyToMoon's draft as well, like their ability to just aggress straight after lane phase?
To some degree, it simplifies the aggression part, but taking towers, not so much. Taking Roshan, of course it does. So Illusion Hero, it does do work against Ursa. Not the most enjoyable engagement. I would like to see them maybe ban out like a Leshrac or something if you were Team Spirit. I think that just gives FlyToMoon such an easy way to play out the game. And other than that, Team Spirit, their draft's not too bad.
Yeah. To your point, this is the benefit of the DP, where it could be core, or you just go for the Lesh, as you said. You definitely need something to do with illusions. DP Ursa is your 1-2 against the PLs, just kind of suicide, especially because the Chen is going to allow them to keep that early tempo. You're going to guarantee a good laning phase for your Phantom Lancer, and I love the synergy with the Grimstroke and the Ember. I don't know why I keep bringing up old games, but like CDC and Wing, it was just, they just spammed Ember PL all the way to a second place at TI. Aggressive PL, still one of the legendary hero player combos even years later. It's also really a testament to how strange Dota is as a game, and how these players, notably Puppy, Kuro, No-Tail, Sumail, like that have always been at the top level, because so many people have just kind of one and done, shined and faltered. You know, like I think he's still a great player, but like Moo, as an example, goes from second place at a TI where Timbersaw, I think he was 16-0 at a point. You know, it's pretty much based. Well, not based, but it's kind of sick how your career as a Dota player is somewhat based on the patch and the meta, and worst of all, your teammates.
Ooh. I'm just hearing excuses now being listed off. Patch, teammates.
Yeah. What's your point?
You've got to get past the excuses, Carl. Get to the solutions. Problem solver.
His solution was now become an analyst, and
look at him now.
Look at him now, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he found the right solution. Yeah. No offense to pro career, but
well, you know, this way he's at practically every event, right?
At least that happened. Tell me more about your spirit break.
I'm hiding behind the
He's young, okay? He's young, and so is Sanking this tournament. I think he's only seen one or two games so far.
That is the GG pick right there. I love Tiny against PL. I love Tiny against Chen. You really have you're just not killing Iceberg. I got a bank on my boys here. I think FlyToMoon's going to skyrocket straight out of here. But
the main thing here is it unlocks that ability to take objectives as well. Think about how he plays the Tiny. Yeah. The Master Madness build, you eat through towers, you pair that with your DP, you bet to play together like really strong. Sure, Team Spirit has that, you got KO later on, but like I think it's too easy for FlyToMoon to own the early map and just to take these towers. And yeah, I'm going to go FlyToMoon.
I'm going to inverse you because you said something mean earlier. I think Team Spirit's going to win.
And that's done really well for him because he's currently 1-2. So probably going to end with a 1-3 right now.
PL is going to just own this game as long as he has a game. I'm a little worried. I think Sand King's just not a great hero at all.
No.
However, you have a Chen. You get a Grimstroke now with 3 melee cores that are just going to go Divide. I like that. It feels good. And yeah, really, it'll just come down to lanes. That's what we've seen in the previous 2 games. I don't see why this one would change.
And as a result, the way you make your choices seems to come down to a personal offense upon you. But we'll have to see if this Tiny can actually first make sure they can't come back. Game number 3, 1 apiece. It comes down to this. Let's throw it over to Shiva and Lacoste.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Lacoste and myself will be able to take you through this third and deciding game of the series, and we have a do-over. Rather, Iceberg once again on the Tiny. We saw him in game 1. He absolutely crushed it. Will he be able to do it again, Lacoste?
Well, not me.
What are we calling a crush when he decided to dive a tier 3 tower while tier 1 and tier 2 were still alive?
Giving enemies false hope, making them feel less scared to leave their base, allowing yourself to then afterwards kill him again.
Well, I still want to go back to who's the strongest hero in this game, and it's still a Phantom Lancer. Seems like every single time I see Phantom Lancer, he is the strongest one. It doesn't matter who's playing it. It's just how it should work.
But they picked up the Tiny after the Phantom Lancer, so that's their answer. Not enough?
That's the only answer you have for illusions. Oh, maybe just theory crafting here. Ursa, at one point, he can get something like a, Battle Fury. It's doable if he has that great amount of a farm. And VTune, and I'm really impressed by VTune and his performance throughout this tournament.
Okay, well, VTune has already, set up his whole item build. There is no Battle Fury in there.
Mask of Madness, it's fine. It opens up the Roche, gives you ability to flash farm, Morbid Mask, sustain in the laning stage. But I want to see how this lane works for him. He's playing against Sanking. Like, they need to have a lot of sentries. And they have none. Okay, one is coming to Always Want to Fly. Immersion, no sentries yet. He's also bringing a courier. He definitely needs to buy it. They have the same couriers. Look at this.
Team Spirit does,
Spirit,
yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All the mushrooms, every time. It's pretty great. I like it. And it's very smart. I know you can see a little portrait, whose courier it is. But at the same time, all having the same courier is just, make sure it's a next level, making people guess whose courier you're about to kill. But we heard the panel say, like, a lot of it is going to depend on the way these lanes are going to go. Now that there's a sentry on Always Want to Fly, like, do you feel like this lane is going to favor the lane of FlyToMoon?
Maybe it's a big galaxy brain play from Sanking, not even scaling Sandstorm. Like, he started with Caustic Finale. You want to outpush the lanes in this kind of a meta, so you have a creep wave advantage, and then you keep harassing people, and you can also pull on the side camp. Ursa is level 2. Same goes for Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
They got level 2 faster than Sanking and Grimstroke.
Well, we'll find out if they kill, because there's still a couple of creeps to kill, right? Because, okay, no, they did. If they kill this one, then they should get level 2, though. Almost. Hey, what do you think, by the way, of getting a headdress in April 2020 on the lane?
Chen?
On Chen? Or you feel like because it's Chen, it's still okay? Because isn't it like... And it was nerfed, and now also, if you're standing next to a tower, you're kind of having the same effect, almost half of the effect.
On Chen is still okay. I don't believe this item is that great anymore. 2 health regen to allies, but also Divine Favor got nerfed pretty hard, from 2 seconds to 125. And it was way too imbalanced before, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Alright, let's see, the Racho is having a little bit of a problem here. He does not have a doppelganger, he has to run. And Alohadan is running with him with the battery assault. Misha's trying to take some of them from him, but can't take them all. And that is first blood going the way of General on his Death Prophet. He was in very deep there, the Racho. That was curious. Playing like he did have a doppelganger. How do we think this mid lane's gonna go? M versus Tiny.
Tiny should definitely be ahead. I'm wondering what kind of... I mean, he's just gonna get power treads, but needs to bring a couple of healing cells. You're not gonna get Flame Guard off. If he maxes it, level 2, 220 damage. With Avatos, you don't have enough.
No. But so there's no kill potential there, basically, until people come out from the other lanes to help them out.
There's always a back toss play on the creep wave from Iceberg, but seems like it's not gonna happen. Ergon going for a bottle, bringing a flask and some tangos. You don't want to buy bottles straight away. Runes are spawning at 4-minute mark, so you just bring some mangoes and extra regen.
Second time around on that play, and Alohadan is not able to find the kill this time. The doppelganger was available for the Racho, so that lane should not have as much kill potential anymore. This Ursa on the bottom lane is doing quite well, the 24-4 on the last hits. I guess you can call his counterpart the PL, and the Racho is only sitting on 14 last hits, so VTune is doing really well there. Indeed, Caster's Curse is getting burrowed. Blinding Light coming out as well, dropping after the back. But VTune is about to have to be careful here with Immersion coming forward with the Inkswell. Now Immersion is in a little bit too deep. It's able to push VTune away with the Stroke of Faith. Nobody dies here today. They will have, of course, a little bit more regen that needs to be burned or used, rather.
I want to see if Ursa gets 1 point in overpower now. There's a great synergy between that and Chakra Magic. You get mana, so you have a lot of sustain, and it also lowers the cooldown. So you use Overpower and Earth Shock, and then he resets the cooldown.
Nay, I say.
Almost level 4 there for Always Wanna Fly. And maybe with that as well, they can play even more aggressive, even though they've not been backing off on the old harass. The first rune, by the way, was a double damage, and Aloha Dance was able to take it away from Aragon. As the Rusho is also missing Aloha Dance right now on the lane, being forced back towards his tower. And everybody is getting harassed everywhere, but nobody is really dying at this point.
Now just watching the bottom lane, I feel like we could see a kill there. Region bringing some extra region on the bottom lane. Like you just want to have some
But he didn't go for overpower. Level 4, and he went 2-0-2.
It's fine when you don't have a Keeper of the Light in the lane because you don't have enough mana to spam out both spells. But I would prefer to have, like, maybe on level 5 he gets a point. You get so much value out of it.
That's why you have the Keeper of the Light Ursa lane.
Yeah.
He's jumping afterlife. He's using it for the Earth Shock, actually. He has another Earth Shock in a second. They do have a Sentry as well, scouting out Afterlife, who's getting an Ink Swell on him, and now Vichin has to back out.
If he had overpowered there, maybe it would have been a kill. Yeah. Like, there's no point. You have a full mana. You're not using it correctly.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. He didn't even use the second Earth Shock, like he didn't need to, or rather couldn't in that fight in particular. Was on flash, a lot of damage to the fight as well.
Lane. You also get the creeps from Chen.
Fancy haste rune. And he runs back to the lane.
That's the downside of the Emperor Spirit. You can leave him alone if you kill the siege creep, and he's not gonna push any tower damage.
Were you watching?
Yeah. Bottom lane have more harassed. Nobody's dying, though. Again on that bottom line. We'll see what happens when level 5 hits for the Ursa. If he does actually get an overpower, the kill potential will definitely increase. Both of them are enjoying some of the by Always Wanna Fly. And Aloha Dance is really trying to get behind Misha so he can kill him. But Misha is keeping a close eye on him. Did he not see that observer ward? He does. Could kill him. Could kill it.
Vichin is just spamming Stunned. Thank God we removed the Alpine Ursa set from the game, but this one, yeah, it's very acceptable.
Yes, I see bears do that all the time in the trees. By the way, he went 3-0-2, so still no overpower from him.
I would be fine with 3-1-1.
It's getting one later every time. It's unfortunate. I'm thinking he's gonna go. I mean, 3-1-2-1, maybe. But once you're committed, now you're committed to get 4 levels of Earth Shock, surely.
All right, bottom. Reset. Full mana. We've still only seen 2 kills. Top lane, Death Prophet, the Exorcism.
Yeah, diving the tower, looking for the Rusho. He has no doppelganger anymore. Tries to juke himself out of there. He moves very fast, but not fast enough for Aloha Dance to find him with the flare. Misha now a little bit of trouble as well. General has to be careful though. He's taking a lot of damage from this tower. He will be healed up again in a second, and he is able to life siphon off of Misha as well. So he'll be 8-OK, 4-0 in favor of FlyToMoon.
And she will be full HP. Those did so much damage. Also putting the pressure on the tower. General is getting way too much out of this lane. Faded Brooch, like that's the best item you can get.
Yeah, on the DP specifically.
On most of the like intelligence heroes, like OD really loves that item. It's just a move speed. Right now is very important. All the heroes are slowed down, so one of the reasons why Faded Brooch is even valued highly. I think it's the best tier 1 item.
What do you make from this play on Aragon? He's just pulling the waves and just killing neutrals with it, and leaving Iceberg free farming in the middle lane. Like they're basically doing, like they're ignoring each other at this point.
Iceberg is getting more, I would say, but Tiny was dumpstering him in the lane. That's why he decided to go for it. Oh, double burrow strike.
Yeah, not gonna take the outpost and not gonna keep himself alive. Vichun is trying to stay alive with the enraged. He's running maybe some. Oh, he can jump to the low ground, but he's getting chased down by Aragon with the spirits, and a double kill goes to him.
I'm always afraid when Ursa is losing the early game. Like if you kill him, you slow him down. He's not a Phantom Assassin. I mean, he's not a Templar Assassin that he flash farms or meepo, but still really hurts when he dies.
Yeah.
More than other heroes.
It's the only way for him to catch up, to sneak in Roshan then.
They
Like,
have
is
that
that
Prophet
his
position
version?
3, so him and that Prophet could easily kill Roche together. Oh man, Iceberg got the tower, Mask of Madness, Kate.
Yeah, well, that's a dead Chen. I'm looking to the next target. It's gonna be Immersion targeted with the Will-O-Wisp. He gets pulled back in, just like the Red Show. They're all here though, and with Immersion, with the Stroke of Fate, doing a lot. He'll be able to kill him. General, I think you're alone. You probably should run. You're yeah, he's out. He's out. He's
Dire's top tower.
Well,
under
They're
Spirit.
so much in these fights.
Yep.
Like they have no real silence. That Prophet has 1 point in it. Clockwork already used the hook shot. They can lock him down, like with Tiny, that Prophet and Clockwork, but he's not the target that you want to just.
Iceberg have 100 last hits, while Aragon only has 75. What's the main difference there? Aragon has been farming neutrals and waves.
Iceberg has been camping. I mean, killing this side camp as well. And he got the tower, going for the same build he did in the first game of this series. Mask of Madness, this into SNY status resistance build, great against like any of the stun. Inkswell, Sanking stun. Sanking will have a free lane for himself on top for like 2-3 waves, so that means that his Blank Dagger is gonna be on a decent timing.
A sudden burn.
So you're still under the assumption that PL is still the strongest hero in the game, right?
With the items,
especially-
yes, not the
yes.
one with 3 raid bands.
Yeah. Especially with V-Tune just having an extra rough game. But it is FlyToMoon that is ahead in net worth. And it looks like they are in control of these fights, especially with General and Iceberg shows up as they do.
Dire structures are fortified.
Or is that just a matter of time before Team Spirit kicks into gear?
You need that diffuse blade on Phantom Lancer, otherwise there's no point for you to be showing up in the fights. Like what you do in a team fight with your illusions is mitigate the damage from Clockwork Battery Assault, that Prophet ulti.
Well, we'll see then if FlyToMoon can keep up high tempo, so there will never be enough time for the PL to get fat, to become that power that Team Spirit at the moment kind of really needs. Maybe Aragon can do something with that, and with the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, once they have, they can definitely make some plays. They're trying to make a play right now as well. They smoked up to try and go for V-Tune, but he's fast enough, he's safe. And the Blink Dagger means Afterlife can't initiate properly.
He's way too beating Mask of Madness, Windlays, Power Treads, and they gave him the Faded Brooch for the chase potential, while Keen Optic is on that Prophet. They don't have the greatest Keen Optic carrier right now. You give it the Keeper of the Light once you don't want it anymore.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The hand-me-downs for the supports. As per usual. FlyToMoon is really looking to see if someone comes to this bottom lane. They've been standing around there for a little while now. Iceberg will make sure that tier 1 drops at least. That's the last tier 1 tower on the side of Team Spirit that falls. And on the side of FlyToMoon, no towers dropped yet. Not even a tower with a little bit of a dent in it, really. Looking very healthy. Do they have enough tower hitters? You're fine this game. Is PL enough?
Have Gen Creep. Yes. PL, but you do not want to like straight up siege.
No.
You also need to take a fight. If there's no heroes, great tower siegers. Phantom Lancer just hits the tower.
Yeah.
I want to see some aggressive play from FlyToMoon. Dead Prophet, level 10, about to finish her Yule Scepter. Like, they could easily take a fight and go into Roche and just give it to Ursa and Dead Prophet ulti.
Oh, she's got to be careful. Actually, Iceberg teleporting in because they want to try and take down some of Team Spirit if they come out too far. Ooh, the hookshot misses. Eric is still trying to run away from this one. He finds himself out of there with the Spirit.
Does not want to use it straight away. First he slides, chains, and then he goes back. Just buying some extra time for Phantom Lancer. Every second is very valuable for him right now. He needs to recover.
You know, Team Spirit is playing to try and give him that time, give him that space as well. They're not playing too scared because if they're too scared, that means that Team Spirit's just hunt down on the Phantom Lancer. They can't do that yet. And Iceberg now actually is... no, he's not in trouble. What am I kidding? He's tanky. Actually, Afterlife with the Blink Dagger doesn't hit the Burrow Strike. Once though, everything coming out, but always want to fire there with the Will-O-Wisp, and it is Team Spirit that has to be careful this time around. This Sand King in a lot of trouble. One punch would do it, and General actually taking the last hit there. Now chasing down Erzon, but he should be fine. Oh, that's caught himself a nice check. Inkswell will flip him there on the sidelines, and actually during all that, VTune was able to take out the Phantom Lancer. The hookshot now comes in on Misha. The low dance has that one off cooldown again. 3 heroes dead on the side of Team Spirit. And please hold that thought. They're actually gonna
silence.
Yeah, this is a scary time for Aragon. And does he have a Spirit is the question. He does put one out right now, but it might be too late with the call or with the toss from Iceberg. That's 4 dead. But again, it doesn't really matter. We said that it was fine if they fought as long as they buy space for the Phantom Lancer, but Phantom Lancer died during all of that.
Oh, it's not anymore that great of a Phantom Lancer game. Tiny's getting too much out of this. You have rockets. I love the build in general, I gotta say. 3 points is silence. It's not a mid-death Prophet, it's your off lane. So those 2 extra seconds bought them enough time for Clockwork to use the cogs, and then Tiny came in with the combo.
Yep. 2 strongest heroes on the map. PL, they already slowed him down by just shutting him down on the lane a little bit. Then the next problem is Aragon, and if you can have that silence indeed last long enough, then he is not a problem either. You can basically kill anybody, and it's very unfortunate for Afterlife. The first showing of the Blink Dagger, and he went for that epicenter, that he missed the Burrow Strike. Like, it was just a little bit too short. Very unfortunate. And FlyToMoon now well in control of this 3rd game of the series.
When you're playing Sanking, you need to be very patient or have better vision. Like, they had the vision on it, but it was just tiny, so the team was very far away. So what you do with the Sanking is blink, initiate with the Burrow Strike, and then follow it up with an Epi, or if someone can't set it up for him.
Oh, Misha. I mean, that was just an extra creep for Iceberg to take down into the jungle, really. Positioning was a little off there. Smoke gang coming from FlyToMoon.
Jax thinks Radiant's bottom tower.
Let's see who they are finding. Vichu looks like he finds the right. Go again. Iceberg is there as well. Avalanche will still go through there. The doppelganger will cool on. There is a Burrow Strike from Afterlife to try and save the Ratcho. I think he wants to be in this fight. That mana drain is hurting him a lot. It looks like indeed they are able to take him down.
It's like to play Phantom Lancer like into Ursa. You use Doppelganger and they know which one is real if the real one got hit by Fury Swipes.
Yeah. It's very clear. You don't even have to click anything for a debuff or buff on the hero. No, there's just clear 3 lines above your face. That is very unfortunate. And I mean, you could tell that Team Spirit was really trying to protect him, but FlyToMoon just didn't care about Afterlife or Immersion that showed themselves. They're like, we're here for the Phantom Lancer, and they made sure that they got him. Misha dying again in his own jungle this time around, but Rush looking for some revenge. He has to be careful though. Aragon is back in this as well. Aloha Dance already burned out of mana. That defusal on Daracha doing a little bit, but not enough to keep himself alive. The General there with the exorcism does miss the silence. That means that Aragon could be fine. Old Afterlife coming in with the Burrow Strike Epicenter. Nice Inkswell as well. They do take out the Keeper of the Light. Can they get more, or do they still have to run away from this position 3 Death Prophet? I kind of feel like General, he is crushing at this game, and we heard though.
Oh, hold that thought.
The feature is coming to save his life, and he's getting healed up by the spirits again. Very nice. The silence coming out again. Aragon dead before the Soulbind is even out, and they're not going for the outpost anymore. They know they can't get it. Still getting silenced up there as well as Aragon looks to go for General. He still has that bug on him. The Vampiric Embrace now disappearing. Is he fast enough with the hookshot of Aloha Dance? Buying some time, but Afterlife, it can blink Burrow, and that will spell the end of Afterlife's life.
Yo, your team is fighting for a minute.
No,
farming neutrals.
He's coming, you know, give him some time. The teleport's very long, but it's already too late. He comes in. I must say, that's a turnaround for Team Spirit that they got given almost. That fight went horribly. Like, that PL died again very fast in a fight. But that
Lancer, oof, he's not having a game 6 deaths already. But Tiny, if he's in a team fight, I don't see them losing it. They need to kite so much, and he can stand his ground. Mask of Madness, SNY, which means status resistance, plus a 10-second BKB already.
Oh yes, he is ready for this. He is hitting those creeps real hard, and he's hitting the heroes really hard too. Again, you said it earlier, he doesn't need Battle Fury if you can hit it with a tree like that. Roshan, it is time. To be honest, 21 minutes, and the first Roshan is now when you have an Ursa on your team and a Death Prophet. Pretty late, but I get it regardless. And they didn't really need it before. In the meantime, there's Burrow initiation onto Aloha Dance. I think those are the type of kills the Team Spirit needs to find. Like quick pickoffs and then get out, like run.
Correct. They can't really afford to team fight FlyToMoon at the moment. Tiny is just too strong. Same goes for Ursa. Going for BKB. They have no answers for BKBs. One of the reasons why he's just going straight for it after a Basher doesn't want to get like full Abyssal Blade, even though it's fine to get Abyssal when you have Aegis, but it's a much safer play if you just get a BKB.
The map is too small for Team Spirit. They are trying to take bottom side of the jungle. It looked like hookshot in for Aloha Dance so he can get the invisibility rune. And Aragon does not. They're still wanting to go for this though, but there is a sentry up in that high ground. Aloha Dance getting scattered out, but General's here. He's got backup as well with the silence. He goes up in the air by himself to try and give himself some time with it to push away. Aloha Dance making sure that Emperor Spirit died. Keeper of the Light coming in with the Will-O-Wisp. Nobody's really stuck in that. That's
They should Phantom Lancer. Like this is kind of a game where you just step him. Like there's no way for him to show up in that fight and do anything rather than
Why was he there? Like
he was fine. All right, I'm gonna help you out.
There should be a reason to go farm somewhere else.
Correct.
That's unfortunate. Mistakes are all over. We know that previous game was 23 minutes, and it's exactly the time it is in the game right now as well. My question is this game at the moment as one-sided as the previous game was at this moment? Or is this still a bit more chance?
Team Spirit loses one fight, the game just ends. We have no tier 2 tower on the bottom lane, so they might switch back to their still Aegis tanking. Not even in the base, just trying to cut some waves.
Oh, that's a melee Rex. Down. FlyToMoon. Sitting pretty comfortably. 12k gold lead. I mean, the kill difference is not that big, but the net worth. This Iceberg Tiny has double the amount of of net worth, almost double, sorry, is Aragon's Ember Spirit, his counterpart.
That Prophet ulti. There's no way they're fighting this.
Oh, there it is. They have to try. Iceberg getting targeted. Oh, but look at him. Khalif down. Team Spirit. Ember Spirit, can he at least get out? I don't think so. That's 3 cores down. The supports on the back lines are like, where did my cores go?
I mean, they had to try to go for it.
Sure.
Definitely not the target, but you have to try something. You can't just stand them and take your second side.
Very true. I mean, you said it. They're 1 game away. 1 fight away, sorry.
Iceberg's tiny. Very strong